I know Kenny's a nice guy, Clem. I bet Carver was a nice guy too, once. Probably had a nice job and a nice, pretty wife. Then all this happened. And one day he caved some kid's face in and realized he could sleep at night.
Kenny isn't Carver. He just made a mistake.
All I'm saying is, start thinking about what happens if you're wrong. You two have known each other a long time. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to decide how much that's worth.
Yo, what is up you lot? My name is SIFmasry. Welcome back guys to a brand new Walking Dead, the final season discussion video. And today I'm bringing you guys an awesome collab video with an awesome YouTuber. State your name.
Yo, it's Infernokun. Welcome.
Be sure to check out Infernokun if somehow you don't know who he is. He's a top tier Telltale channel with amazing discussions and in-depth theories on all Telltale games. Link in the description. You can also click the icon at the top right of your screen to go straight to his channel. Today's video we are going to be discussing AJ's behavior and how similar it is to Carver, which I must remind you is potentially the father of AJ. But the ultimate question of today's video is going to be, will The Walking Dead force the player, not literally force, I'm just saying from a moral point of view, force the player to kill AJ for the benefit of others? So, like I said, the ultimate question is, will Clementine end up killing AJ? Now, it's not necessarily fair to base AJ as an evil just on that one decision at the end of episode 1 where he kills Marlon. And I'm not saying he's evil, we're just going to be theorizing the potential road Telltale could take AJ to make AJ's character more interesting and in-depth and, you know, something we haven't seen before. So Infernokun, I need to ask, what do you think about AJ's attitude towards Marlon's death? And do you see AJ perhaps making this big of a mistake in episode 2, 3, or 4?
Now, AJ, that was a pretty crazy turn of events for him as a character, okay? After he killed Marlon, and he was just like, what? As if it was like, you know, okay, like he didn't really thought he did something good. He was like, I aimed for the head or something like that, and he was like, okay, I did what I was supposed to do. And I'm not entirely sure whether, you know, that is what he thought Clementine was teaching him, but it might not have been what he would have gathered from that, because it could have been Clementine's mistake of not specifying when exactly to do this. Okay, she wasn't really very specific. She was kind of vague about it. So looking at AJ, I'm not entirely sure if he would. I mean, I feel like he probably would end up doing more things like this, not to this extent, like murdering somebody who's unarmed, who has already kind of surrendered, but his behavior probably maybe hasn't really improved from what we saw with the little teaser. Okay, he's still very, very hardened. Okay, and whether our choices actually, you know, affect that, we'll have to see. But hopefully we do make some choices that affect AJ's sanity level, okay, and have him actually, you know, be different depending on what we say, because we, of course, we were given that, you know, AJ's always listening, and he might be listening a bit too hard, okay? And I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to be leaving him for the future episodes.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I made a video talking about did Marlon deserve to die a little while back. Link in the description. Shameless plug, I know. But realistically, I think it's a bit important to talk about, will Clementine ever maybe have the choice of killing AJ? Now, once again, I want to talk about that because AJ as a person, perhaps making this big of a mistake again, could have an impact on Clementine's survival in the future. Of course, The Walking Dead is all about surviving as long as you possibly can, and not getting bit, not getting into trouble, etc. So, I do see some similarities between Carver and AJ. Of course, like Carver, he doesn't mind killing, so obviously that could be the first step of AJ becoming a madman like Carver, right? So if AJ does go down the evil path, will Clementine be forced to kill AJ? Because AJ, as we talked about in your video, Clementine will become probably the leader of the boarding school, right? In episode 2, it just makes sense. AJ is going to have a big impact on Clementine leading, maybe because of another big mistake that could happen later. Not necessarily killing another human being, maybe that could happen, maybe it couldn't. If AJ continues to negatively impact Clementine in such a way that she becomes aware of the fact that, yo, okay, AJ, you're doing so much wrong and I'm trying to teach you, but it's not working. Of course, it looks like in episode 2 that Clementine did kind of go down for AJ's murder. In the episode 2 teaser, he talks to Clementine about how, okay, thank you for teaching them that I'm strong and I'm not stupid and smart.
I'm sorry you had to do all the hard work. Showing them I'm good and smart. Smarter than them.
So clearly, that could be talking about how Clementine actually went down for Marlon's death. So of course, AJ and Clementine do have a tight relationship, and Clementine obviously took the blame for this, I'm guessing. So do you think if AJ ever goes down the evil path, because in my opinion, I think this would be a very interesting scenario, because we haven't had this before where Clementine, you know, could be looking at AJ as someone that she loves, or she obviously loves AJ, right? But will it benefit her and others around her if AJ does die? Now obviously this is a bit crazy because we're only in episode 2, but overall, you know, we got 4 episodes. What do you think about AJ going down an evil path, and even the possibility of Clementine even thinking about AJ dying?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting concept here with AJ, depending on his mental state. Of course, he's good with walkers, okay? He knows how to handle walkers. He's very good on that aspect, but he's just not very good with people. We can kind of see that from various different aspects with 10, Ruby, Marlon, all that kind of stuff. He's just not that good with people, okay? That's something that Clementine probably has to teach him, you know? And one more thing, that it could actually be attributed to what happened at the McCarroll Ranch, okay? Something could have happened that left him, you know, emotionally scarred in a way that makes him want to always be on his guard and always look out for his safety as well as Clementine's safety. So in that way, it's not really a bad thing. Now let's talk about, you know, Clementine here. Okay, she isn't the best angel around. Okay, I mean, if you want to talk about season 3, okay, she kinda did shoot a man in the head, like for no reason at all. Okay, so she's not perfect either. AJ, he kind of did, you know, pretty much the same thing. So looking at that, I think it's up to just Clementine to realize that, hey, you know, we both have nightmares about what happened at the McCarroll Ranch that probably could have ticked something off in AJ's head, and things might not be right from there. And looking at that, it's hard to say whether Clementine may see him as a big problem or see him as somebody who could possibly pose a threat to people. And it's pretty much right there. It's up for Clementine to just teach him better, okay? Just, of course, Clementine was pretty edgy in season 3, okay? So she's not perfect either. She did some not okay things, and AJ did not okay things. So they're both kind of messed up a little bit, you know, judging by what happened at the McCarroll Ranch. So it all attributes, you know, maybe once we get to see what happened at the McCarroll Ranch, we'll kind of understand why AJ might just be like this, and, you know, how we can end up maybe tailoring our choices to kind of just make him less accustomed to this violent lifestyle. As far as AJ becoming, you know, an enemy, possible enemy to Clementine, I'm not entirely sure, because he doesn't really have a problem with Clementine. He thinks he loves her very much, and he is definitely, like, he listens to her, and he isn't gonna do anything to harm her, I hope. He just wants to protect her. He just saw Clementine in possible danger and did like a dog would do to his owner and try to protect them. And it might not have been the best choice, but he tried that way.
Obviously, with AJ obviously being born and raised in the apocalypse, is the first character to have that background, being born and raised in a Walker apocalypse, in a zombie apocalypse. And this would be interesting to notice when it comes back to his heritage, right? So Al is obviously genetically, some people say it's probably Alvin's baby, but Carver was always metaphorically a part of Rebecca, if you know what I mean. So it would be interesting if Toto goes down the path of he had nice parents, but there's also a second man that was involved with Rebecca. And obviously it doesn't make sense, obviously, in real life, but from a story point of view, from a narrative point of view, and a narrative perspective, it makes sense if we have some sort of how his behavior would actually be considered as CJ Carver Jr. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely. Carver was not a very, nice guy, okay? You can kind of see just resemblance of him in AJ on how he handles things. Of course, Carver was very violent. Now AJ is very violent. And it hurts me that AJ could possibly be CJ. And because I really did like Alvin, and I really wanted to, if I really liked AJ, I wanted to protect AJ because I really liked Alvin as a character. And now it's going to be so tough because of how AJ's, acting out and stuff. And then it could possibly be just Carver's, and it's just a whole bunch of things going there. So I hope that we get to see how AJ, like, if he keeps on acting like this, we probably may see some more of what AJ's like and kind of tie it to how Carver is. But hopefully, what I do hope is that, Clementine just sits down and be like, hey, listen, you had these two parents, okay, Alvin and Rebecca, and tells AJ about them in a scene. That'd be really great to kind of just go ahead and, hey, I wouldn't say like, hey, you're acting like Carver, okay? I wouldn't say that to him, okay? But that'd be pretty awful. But be like, hey, think about Alvin Sr., okay? He was a pretty nice guy. He wanted the best for you. Be like him. Don't be like Carver.
Determinedly, while playing the game of war, Clementine could say that AJ's parents, for the most part, were nice people, right? So I wonder what she means by for the most part. Could she believe that, in terms of canon story, is AJ's father actually Carver? Why does she say for the most part? Unless she just talks about Rebecca's behavior in general, how she's unloyal to her man, etc. That'd be interesting to see.
They're dead. They were nice people. For the most part.
It makes sense. He's a nice kid.
For the most part.
For the most part, it kind of threw me off, in my opinion. If she means Carver, if perhaps she believes it's Carver, but obviously, I don't know. It's just a little point I wanted to mention. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you very much, Infernokun, for collabing with me on this rather strict topic, I'd say. Obviously, make sure to check out the video we did over into his channel. We were talking about how Clementine will become the leader of the boarding school, what decisions will impact her as the leader of the boarding school, and basically her journey to becoming the leader of the boarding school. Make sure to subscribe to him and me if you haven't already. Like the video if you did. Comment to give me your opinion on what the discussion is about. Obviously, leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments down below. Make sure to check out Infernokun, first link in the description. And yeah, any last words?
Yeah, boy, thank you all for watching. Be sure to give us some love in the comments. Go ahead and comment down below what you guys think about the whole CJ AJ thing and various different, just mental state of AJ and what's going on. Could he possibly be traumatized or whatever, or is he just, acting out because he thinks it's cool or whatever? It's very interesting stuff right here. Hopefully we'll see more of it in episode 2. But anyways, thank you all for having me. Thank you all for supporting SIFmasry, and that's all.
Oh, yes.
That's all I say.
Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been SIF, and this is Infernokun, and we're out in a bit.
Bye.
Oh, yes.
And I'll catch you guys next time on Tales from the Borderlands.
No, okay, we're not doing this.